is called Shawn. This is an Army Olive Green Cream. And this is another early purchase for me. It's something, I don't quite remember the collection. It's like a lot harder for me to remember Zoya collections than OPI collections for whatever reason. But it was an early purchase for me, and it was a purchase when all of those really grungy colors were super popular. Like these sort of army greens were super popular, I feel like in 2010, 2011. So that is the first coat of Shawn. You can see it goes on kind of sheer, but it does build up pretty well. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Shawn, and this does get the color fully opaque. As I said, it does build up pretty well, and it actually applies really, really glossy and pretty rich as well. It's not a difficult polish to work with. It goes on pretty smoothly. So in my last video, I actually compared two other separate army greens when one was Yara and one was Gemma. I decided to keep Gemma in that video. I actually think I'm going to keep Shawn instead of Gemma now because I like just the tone of this army green instead. And as much as I love the shimmer in Gemma, I feel like this one is a little bit more versatile for me at this point in my life. If I were to wear an army green, I'd probably wear this one over Gemma. So this one I'm going to keep, and I'm going to go back and destash Gemma. The next color is called Envy, and this is a darker sort of ivy green color. Obviously it's named after green with envy. This is again sort of that more grungy green tone. It's not like a springy ivy color. It's actually very similar to Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow by OPI. It's a little bit more swampy of a color than that one is though. You can see in the first coat that it is actually pretty green. It does build up to be much darker though, so that is the first coat of Envy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but before I do my next coat, you can see that it has that same sort of black quote-unquote shimmer that Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow by OPI has. It has those like sort of speckly bits in there. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Envy, and this gets the color fully opaque. This is one of those colors that's really good for people who like dark nails but don't want to wear black. It's another one of those alternative to black colors that I feel like I talk about a lot. I use that phrase a lot, but just the nail polish world in general has opened up so many different color avenues for people that like a certain type of look, like that they like the dramatic dark nail but don't want to do something that looks dark and black and, you know, isn't just like a dark red, for example. So that is two coats of Envy. It applied really evenly, applied really nicely, and it's actually a very, very pretty color, and again, very similar to Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow by OPI. So this polish I am going to destash because I kept Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow by OPI, and because I am keeping Shawn, which is going to sort of satiate my sort of army green need as well. Again, this is sort of like a darker version of an army green. It's got a little bit of that sort of murky feel to it than Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow has, but as much as I like it, I am going to destash it. This next color is called Suvi, and this, unlike most of the other polishes in this series, I did not actually see on Scrangy first. I saw it on Say Anything Brooke first. She had a really, really old video. I think it was talking about either a Zoya sale or just colors that she liked, and she brought this one up, and she said Suvi is one of her favorite greens. I believe she wasn't like a super fan of Zoya, but she said Suvi was one of her favorite greens and that it was definitely a must-buy from the Zoya brand, and so I definitely tracked it down because she was one of my very first and probably all-time favorite polished people. And Suvi is a really, really dark blackened green shimmer. It's definitely got like a black base, but it has a bright sort of forest green shimmer running through it, and it is definitely a very unique and very pretty color. So that is the first coat of Suvi. You can see it is pretty thin, but it does build up pretty nicely. It's one of those colors that actually works really, really well if you layer it over black, because you can just do the one coat and the green shimmer comes out really strong, but I personally like just wearing it on its own. I'm going to go now with the second coat of Suvi, and this does get the color fully opaque. It actually built up surprisingly nicely for how thin of a formula it has. It applies really easily, and the green shimmer comes out really nicely in that second coat because it does get darker. So yeah, that is two coats of Suvi. This polish has such a nostalgic pull for me to keep it. However, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I just feel like I haven't worn it in years, and as much as I love it and as much as it reminds me of like the olden polish days, I just don't have a reason to keep it. So this one is going to be destashed as well. This polish is called Cecelia, and this was actually from a recent collection. I think it was from 2 summers ago, and this is a teal cream color. It's not a super bright teal cream. It's definitely got just a one touch of like dustiness to it, but it's still a really beautiful summer color. It reminds me quite a bit of the color Fly by OPI. It's maybe a little bit more green, but it's a very, very pretty cream color. So that is the first coat of Cecelia. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Cecelia, and this gets the polish fully opaque. This has a slightly thicker formula than I am used to with Zoya creams. Zoya creams tend to be on the thinner side. This one has that slightly sort of like sticky feel to it. It does get a little bit brighter and a little bit more saturated with the second coat, but it doesn't get fully to be like a bright, bright, bright teal. It's definitely, again, got that slight dustiness to it. So that is 2 coats of Cecelia. So because I have OPI Fly and because I actually honestly have a lot of turquoises, I am going to destash this one as well. I think it's so pretty. I think it's great for the summer, but I have too many nail polishes. So this one unfortunately is a victim of I have too many creams that are teals and one of them just has to go. This polish is called Wednesday. This is another sort of lighter sea foam type of turquoise color. It has, again, just that slight drop of gray to it, so it's not completely bright or like Eastery or a pastel in a lot of these colors tend to be. This is also, again, very similar to China Glaze's For Audrey. It might be just a touch darker, but it's very similar in tone. You can see in the first coat it applies actually really evenly and really nicely. It's not got a slightly sticky formula like Cecelia did. This one is definitely more of your standard cream formula. So that is the first coat of Wednesday. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Wednesday. This gets the polish fully opaque. Again, it does make it a little bit brighter. It makes the color, again, a little bit more bright, but not fully bright like China Glaze For Audrey is, for example. This for some reason, whenever I wear it, sometimes lighter colors like this, whenever I wear them, like get a little bit like grayer as the manicure like progresses. Like after like a couple of days, it just doesn't look very nice anymore. So like pastels tend to do that for me a lot. If you are not somebody that likes that, then you might not like this color. So this polish I am going to destash. Again, I just have For Audrey and some other light turquoises that are too similar to this. So again, unfortunately, it falls victim to I have too many nail polishes and it needs to be destashed. This next color is called Talia, and this is a definitely more of a blue toned turquoise color. It definitely looks really, really blue. It has that slight hint of a green in it though, to make it not as much of like a bright blue as it is, as it is compared to other colors. It's actually pretty opaque on its own on the first coat. You can see it covers really nicely. It has a really nice bright undertone to it, especially in that first coat, so you can see that it's gonna come out pretty bright on the nails. It's definitely more of a medium tone than a super, super light color, and it doesn't have any sort of white pastel hints to it, so it comes out very saturated and very bright. So that's the first coat of Talia. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Talia, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. It does brighten up and fully make the color as like saturated as it's going to be. This also has that slightly sticky formula that Cecelia had. Again, it's sort of unusual for me to find Zoyas that have that formula. I feel like they tend to be on the thinner side. So that is 2 coats of Talia. So this is an interesting polish. I think I'm going to keep it to see if I wear it this summer and then see whether I destashed it or not. This is definitely a really beautiful summer color, especially on the toes. So this is Charla. This is my favorite Zoya. This is like my favorite nail polish. You guys know I'm going to keep this. I'll swatch it for you anyway. But yeah, this came out in the Sparkle collection. This was a summer collection of 2009. 2010, and it is just, it's beautiful. This was the first polish that really made me fall in love with Zoya. This is the first polish that really made me fall in love with Glass Flex, and it is just incredible. It looks like a mermaid. in a bottle, and I love it. At the first coat, it's not very opaque, but it definitely builds up very, very nicely. So yeah, that's the first coat of Charla. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Charla. It gets fully opaque in 2 coats. And yeah, this is just, it's my favorite nail polish. I wear it all the time. I've gone through multiple of these, and I love it. And I hope that Zoya never discontinues it because it's incredible. So that is Charla. So I'm definitely keeping this nail polish. I'm actually like, I've got like a quarter of this bottle left anyway, but I am definitely going to keep this nail polish. It's my favorite. So yeah, that is Charla. This polish is called Remy, and this was from the same collection that India came out in, and this is like the darker sister of Charla. It's got a very similar color tone. I would say it has a slightly more peacock blue, like, or I guess inky blue undertone to it, and look at how glorious that is. It is opaque in 1 coat, and it's incredible, and I love it. So that is the one and only coat of Remy. So this polish I'm also going to keep. Look at how pretty it is, like in this angle. It's so gorgeous, and I love it, and I wear it quite often. So yeah, that is Remy, and this is going to stay in my stash. I will say the one con about Remy is that it stains something fierce. Like, look at how blue my nails are right now. I look like my fingers are about to freeze off. The next color is called Cynthia, and this is a really, really dark gray toned blue color. This is similar to Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow, in that it has that like weird speckling in it that is kind of considered like a black shimmer. This has a little bit of a teal tone to it, so as much as it looks like a really, really dark blue, it does have a slight turquoise tone. It is very grayed out, so it's not going to be a very bright color. Not that it would be bright because it is a dark, but it's again another alternative to black that a lot of people will like. So that's the first coat. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Cynthia, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats, especially because it's such a dark color. And it does get a little bit deeper, a little bit less saturated, like the color isn't as differentiated from like a dark gray as it is in the first coat. So that is 2 coats of Cynthia. So this polish I am going to destash. I really like it. Again, it's a really beautiful alternative to black. I just don't wear these colors very often anymore. If I'm going to pick something really dark, it's going to be something like Lincoln Park After Dark, for example. So this is going to get destashed. The last color today is called Crystal, and this is a really pretty sort of steel tone blue with a really bright gold shimmer running through it. I believe this was a dupe for something. This is a dupe for some either like super limited edition OPI or something, and people went crazy over it when it first released. I definitely tracked it down for that reason, and I really actually liked it outside of the fact that it was a dupe for an OPI polish because it's very unique. I like that it's sort of got a foily base with a gold glass fleck running through it as well. I'm not typically one to love foils with other stuff in it, but for whatever reason, this combo really worked for me. So that is the first coat of Crystal. I'm going to go in with the second coat of Crystal, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. And it's so sparkly and so shiny. I like that the gold glass fleck in this is a little bit chunkier, so it does stand out pretty nicely against the foily base. So this polish I am going to keep. It's one of my favorites, especially in the winter, just because it has that really icy, just wintry feel to it. It's a beautiful color as well. So that is Crystal. So those are the 5 colors that I'm going to keep in this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I will link all of the other videos in the description box down below, as I always do. I hope you guys are also liking that I am adding the polish names to the video as well. Somebody suggested that, and it was actually a really, really good idea, so I decided to do that as well. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys like this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would totally make my day. Otherwise, if you could subscribe as well, that would totally make my day. And then otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon.